Hello, everybody. Is it working? I'm trying to figure this out here. Stream. Good. No, this is not right. It's not right. Okay. Oh, hey, there is a chat showing up. That's cool. I like that. Ah, it just disappeared. I don't like that. Hang on now. What in the hell is going on? This is crazy. Hang on, gang. Hang on. I'm trying to keep up here. I'm not a fan of what's going on at the moment. I'm not into this. This is very, very not good. Not good. Sorry. This is a disaster. It's going to be better in a second. I'm on a new system. I'm on a new system! George is not happy. Not happy. Okay. Save that. Okay. And go back in there. And where's the chat? Where is it? How do I find it? I don't. What the fuck? Is it working? Okay. Believe it or not, this is actually much better. This is the improved system. Okay, it's been 10 years. Hi. 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 Hi, it's been 10 years. Let's get some music going. Huh? Because we can do that now. Hey guys, welcome to the HTD show. And I'm finally on a real computer for doing this, and I can adjust my levels right here, and I noticed that music is a little much. There you go. That's probably about where you want it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey gang, how's it going? Oh, the lights are all wrong. This is terribly, this is sterile. This is the work light. We hate this. Hang on. There we go. Now we're vibing. Now we're vibing. It's maybe a little bit dark on the live stream, which is weird because on my monitor it looks great, but thank you to all of you for enjoying this show for me. Meredith is a gem. She's a gem. Is it a little dark in here? Is that a thing? Should we? I could bump it. Filters. And I'll just like add a little color correction. Okay, just put a little color correction on there and just like, oh no, that looks like shit. That's not what I wanted. Never mind, never mind. We're not gonna fuck with that. I could just put up the key light if you think I need to. Maybe I do. Is that why I made that other scene? Is that what it was? Is this just a little bit brighter? Yeah, it was a little bit extra fill. Is the fill popping? Make that fill pop. There we go. It just took a second. This is the live streaming light. Hello. Hello. Hi. How's it going? How you doing? You guys been good? I'm checking something out here if I can do this. That's not working, so that's no good. And you're supposed to have a chat window. Oh, there you are. But are you like punchable? Can I punch you in? I think you're just another browser window. All right? Nah, you're useless. Fuck that. You close the dockable. Dockety dock. It sounds like the music stopped, did it? No. It's just going to the next track, right? Yeah. That's good. All right, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. What am I making for a drink? Hold on a second. Normally when I do a live stream, I say hi to everybody as they come in, so let's do that. Hello, Aaron Biller, you were there first. Hello, Sonics29000. Sanix, I remember, I know that meme. Hello, Ford Prefect. Hello, Classy Crow. Hello, Desert Petrichor. Love that, that's a hell of a name. I'm working on a Petrichor drink loosely. Posh Cat, hello. Mimara, hello. Cody Washi Loach, hello. Ambunt, hello. Senator Kratoville, hello. Hello, Pustilio. Hello, Greg Gainos. Hello, Fiction So Real. Hello, Samantha Crouch. Thank you for complimenting my haircut. Hello, Cassie Wachalowicz. Oh no, I already said hi to you. The Vinyl Scholar, howdy do. Jaralan. Hello, Jaralan. Hello, Rob Feisier. Thank you, Breen Ouellette. Breen Ouellette. Breen Ouellette. I don't know what that means. It's not like a oubelette, but okay. Thank you for the 10 Canadian dollars. I appreciate that. I'll be in Canada in a week. Mr. Tasting History is here. Max, the Maximum Miller. Hello, baby. Woo! Thank you guys so much. The show is 10 years old. So what happened is, I built a tower. I have a Mac tower that kicks ass. It used to be my editing rig up until about 5 minutes ago, and I realized it sucked at editing compared to a modern laptop, so I got a modern laptop. But what the tower is good at is live streaming, because it has 8 individual HDMI streaming inputs, and I can actually run my stream. So for the first time in like 2 or 3 years, you are witnessing the full power of this live streaming battle station. And by full power, I actually mean somewhat moderated power, because I am still building the show. The show exists, but is not yet fully built, which is true, because I'm still building it. Okay. Thank you for all I do in another 10 years. Oh, well, thank you. How do I, like, your channel? I don't know. So I'm also back on OBS, and things have changed since I was last in OBS, and they've added things that I'm not sure I love. OBS is the software for streaming, but I just want to be able to see. Okay, let's just close that. It's not helping me. Thank you for all I do in another 10 years. Yes, thank you. Hey Max, how you been? Thanks for being here. Medium power. Yes, medium power. We are at the medium power stream. The things that I can do, I can like put that guy in the show. Hi, baby. And I can move it around. Well, in theory, I can move it around. Why don't you want to move around? What? It was just working. What the fuck? What happened? It lit. Oh, it was delayed. Look at that. Yeah. Why is there so much delay? Oh, that's not right. Something's not right there. Something just not right there. That's just not right. Should not have any delay at all. I have no idea why that's going on. You know what, folks? Sometimes the train starts moving, and you build it as you go. Tasting History, Max. I'm just going to call you Max. Thank you. Thank you. I am also looking forward to more pirate drinks. This week, we're doing Bumbu. I'm sure you've done all of this on your show. You know, at some point, we're all 500 episodes into our programming, and it's hard not to step on each other's toes. But Max, I would love to do something together. I have a few ideas, even if making our own sugar is a bit absurd. Yep, this is how Greg opens a bottle. This is a bottle of rum I just got, like, the other day. Curiata, still friends of the show, they send me things all the time on the hopes that I would put them in the show, and I'm very bad about doing that. And they almost never make it into the... Well, that's not true. A lot of times they make it into the show. Did you know my mic was wireless? You do now. They sometimes make it into the show. It will be fun, Max. It will be fun. Let's do it. Making the sugar? Yeah, I have... I shot you an email. Hit me up with a... I'll fire off another one at you. Maybe your email ID has changed. Hit me up. Hit me with a reply. We'll see what we can do here. Let's see also if I can make this thing work, because we like it when this works. KOS. Load that shot. Mamma mia. Run it. And are you gonna work for me now? Get that shit in the show. What's the delay? Why is there so much delay? What is happening here? Is it like a Stream Deck issue? Stream Deck. Oh my God, the delay. The delay. We can't have this delay. This delay is too much. The delay is too much. Anyway, let's try this. This is a rum, Holmescay, single origin, Réunion Island, rum traditionnel, something number 4, cask number 4. I don't know what that is. Distillery de Savannah? That can't be right. That must be just the name of it because it's in Saint-André, Isle de Réunion. Réunion. Molasses and column still. Okay. Oh, what does that remind me of? Shit. What does that remind me of? It's got some gas in it. I like that. What the hell does that remind me of? Shit. It doesn't remind me of shit. It's good. Can we move this? Okay, now we're being responsive. Look, I can move my camera where I want it. If you want, we can punch in. Ooh, it's just a little zoomy effect. We can punch out. Ooh. I could say like, oh, it's at the top left. What if it was 3D in the top left? That's a little extreme. We're not going to use that. That looks silly. And of course, we can get rid of it when we need it no more. Thank you for working. Finally, I can be biggered. Should I be biggered? Anyway, so I've been doing my live stream off of an A10 Mini, and I've hated every second of it because now I've got the power. Now I've got my powers back. Yes, I can show you the bottle. There you go. Holmescay. Is that in focus? Maybe that's where my plane is. There we go. Okay, looking cool. Let's try and follow the camera. Stopping the camera from moving is more trouble than it's worth, guys. Hey, thank you, Snegglepuss, so much. Congrats on 10 years, 11 more until HCD is old enough to drink. Wow, Jesus. I was actually planning on announcing my retirement today, but you've just convinced me I have to make the show for another 11 years. Well, there goes those plans. So much for that. I want a drink. Oh, that's a good glass. You know what I love? When my wife fills the show freezer with food. That's my favorite. There's a bunch of frozen chicken fingers for the kids in there. How am I going to get to my ice? How am I going to make a drink? Hey, Android Goat, thank you so much. When your grandma gave you a birthday case and a cash and $1 for you every year, YouTube never took a cut of my gifts, though. Well, thank you, Android Goat. YouTube's cut is more than fair, honestly. I don't have any complaints about that. I have other complaints about YouTube, but that's not one of them. I feel like I'm having a daiquiri. I thought about having an old-fashioned. I'll put it to a vote. A quick vote. Daiquiri or old-fashioned? I'm not equipped for tiki drinks at the moment. I kind of am, but I'm also kind of not, and I might have one later. It's just too much work at the moment. I gotta you guys do this? I gotta stop hunching my shoulders. My whole shoulders are always too hunched. I'm always like this guy. I think that's like iPhone neck or something. You guys all want me to have an old-fashioned, but that's too bad because I don't want an old-fashioned. I want a daiquiri. Too bad. I'll make one. I'll just put it there like as a totem or something. Viewer activity. I just want to make sure I don't miss any Supreme chats. Meredith gets very angry at me. The world gets very angry at me when I do that. But I think I haven't missed any, so there we go. We're good. Why is that not scrolling? There we go. Yeah, birthday cash, Grandma. Thank you. Not only is the show's 10th birthday, do you know this? It's my birthday too, because 10 years ago, I was an idiot, and well, not an idiot, but I don't know, I guess I thought it'd be good luck. I released the first episode on my birthday. Isn't that weird? It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Meredith's not here. I don't want to do a sidecar. I want to do a daiquiri. Oh, you probably want to see it, right? Oh, you can see it. There you go. I have a camera overhead too, but I haven't programmed it yet for the show, for the live stream, really. Thank you, Folk Elite. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make myself a daiquiri, and then I'll make you an old-fashioned. That's a very generous gift there. Thank you so much. Hemingway Dak? I don't have a... guys, let me just keep it easy. I don't know. At the end of the day, The How to Drink bar is a bar for one. So I am not 24 hours a day stocked with every fresh juice known to man, or mint, or all the syrups. I kind of have what I have when I have it. And so I'm not, I do have some grapefruit juice in another room. I'm not gonna get it. Anyway, that's an ounce of lime juice. Where's my skimple? Simple. We'll put, like, I don't know, 3/4 of an ounce of stimple. Yeah. Boop, boop. I'm not trying to get schlagered right now because it's my birthday, so I'm going to save my schlagering for later. Well, thank you, Bill's Trek Blue. I appreciate that very much. I need rum. What rum should I use? Do I want to use that rum I just got? Not really. This celery root liqueur? Probably not. Let's see. Over here at the wall of rum that no one can see. I should put a camera over here. I feel like this would be interesting for people, sort of. Oh, yeah. It's a pretty pedestrian daiquiri. That's okay. We don't need to get wild. We don't need to get crazy. Boop, boop. Thank you, Embafarica. 2 ounces of Florida Cania. $20 for the birthday bartender from Breen. Oh, man, thank you so much. I'm going to be up in Quebec in like a week. I just found out I'm obligated legally to visit Quebec. Nothing wrong with that. I've never set foot in Quebec. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Wall of rum camera? Yeah. I could set one up for live streams. I probably have a spare camera. I could point at it. The issue is going to be lighting it. It's like, if I light that, then the light comes over. You know, it's a problem that way. Let's get some ice after I dig it out from where I buried all the ice in here. She really, good Lord, woman. The nerve. This is the engine. This is the place that makes the money for the family. I'm gonna use this one. It's amazing how good a bar spoon works and how bad everything else is at cracking ice. And the secret is in the shape of the bar spoon, you see, because this is a parabellum, and it puts all of its force into one itty bitty little spot, so we can just go, boom. Doesn't even take a lot of pressure. Next time I do one of these live streams, I'll have the overhead camera operational. It's operational, it's just not in the show. Ville de Quebec. Sure. Now, I have to reclaim my lost Canadian citizenship, and to do that, I have to get my fingerprints taken inside of Canada, because some relative of mine is some kind of a super criminal, and they got to prove that I'm not them. So I have to physically enter Canada and get my fingerprints taken. And as I've never been to Quebec City, and it's basically the closest, that Montreal will be a closer spot, but probably gonna hit that too. Oh man, thank you, the Mun Peoples. We're gonna switch radio stations now. Yeah. All right, the issue then is Stream Deck. Stream Deck is having some problems. Let's try that. Let's quit Stream Deck and relaunch it. Let me know if the music is too loud, by the way. Now I know it's not OBS. Wonder why. Cheers. Thank you. Nah, they're just really old limes. Really old limes either turn black or yellow. I prefer them when they turn black, but you never know. It's just the way they are. There we go. Let's get some Exotica going. Now we're talking. Yeah, rebooting the Stream Deck helped a lot. Ooh. I should make that zoom slower. That like action right there. It's like too fast. It's not too loud. We can still hear me well. So, not that you guys care, but my show is set up. I've got a Stream Deck XL that controls the show, and then I've also got a Nano Control 2, and I've got it all wired up on MIDI. So my audio levels and stuff are on, like, I have a mixing board here that I can actually control all that stuff. And I can control my my own monitors separately from your show. So I've got it up just a little bit in the background so I can hear what's playing. Cheers. Oh, the David Martinez. Didn't I just cook down Coca-Cola for that one? It's not that tough. You just need a few minutes. I think that's what I did on that guy. I don't remember. I don't remember most of the drinks I've done. It's been a long time. I've done this a lot. You know what I'm saying? Sweep Auto, hello. Lately, I've been dirty dumping my daiquiris, and I prefer it to straining. I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's get that guy out of the show. I think that transition was too fast, too. I might try to fire up the overhead camera. Let's do that, because I want to show you guys the How to Drink app. Oh, boy. You know, I got to show you. I got to talk about my app, my stupid fucking app. I got to talk about it. I'm obligated. It should be all good to go if I turn that on. The reason Make and Drink uses this song and the reason I use this song is because in Epidemic Sound, which is a music, what's the word I'm looking for here? Royalty-free music library that basically every YouTuber uses because it's, I don't know how it's that cheap, but it's fine. There's an album in there that is like, yep, that's the sound. That's Exotica. That's real. Actually, like that sounds like Martin Denny or, you know, whatever. Everything else doesn't. There's like some calypso and there's a lot of like kumbe and I don't know what rumba and stuff like that. But there's basically no other Exotica sounds in there. So I told somebody I was going to make them an old-fashioned. Sure, we can prepare an old-fashioned for you. Why not? I'm not going to drink it. This is a nice glass. I find that, like, I don't know, rum's my guy. Old-fashions, they kind of give me, like, a headache. Yeah, it is the Tiki music. That's like, that's the thing. That's 100% accurate. Can I like boost it? There we go. Sometimes I do things like this. It's a little hairy, but we'll do it. Because I don't particularly want to have to reframe my camera. I'm just being a little lazy. Hey, you know, we're gonna have to have a serious talk in this household about what goes where. Thank you, another 5 for Bloman. Bloman? 2 ounces of bourbon. A couple dashes of Ango. A healthy pour of simple. Why is the pink stuff on here? Where'd that even come from? Let's just be dirty. That's okay. What's your favorite soda-based cocktail? You're partial to a Cuba Libre. You put, yep, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. What encoder am I using? I'm using OBS because I'm not on the A10 at all. I haven't really messed with the encoder in years. It's whatever I set up like 1,000 years ago. There's probably better options now, but this one seems to work. I have a sad dried out orange today. Let's see if we can get anything out of this. Probably not. Maybe a little. I mean, I can smell it. I don't think I saw it, but my backlight's not on either. Old fashioned for you. I didn't even taste it. I'm just not in the mood. You think simple would prevent me from getting a head, honey instead of simple would prevent a headache? No, because I don't get headaches from daiquiris. I get headache, something about whiskey anymore. It's just like it doesn't work for me. I don't know. Occasionally. Rum recommendations for bourbon lovers. I actually have a bottle of Doorleys 12, and I think that's a good answer. I can't do a tiki drink. I just don't have the equipment. That's why I'm having a daiquiri. I'm just not set up for it today. It's funny, there is my Doorleys. Well, it's not the 12. It's fine old. I forget what XO stands for. Doesn't mean what you think it means. This is a very interesting rum from Haiti. A member of my Patreon just gave me a antique drink mixer that they had no use for. I wanted one because drink mixer, like malt mixer, milkshake machine, whatever you want to call it, those are sort of like the thing to acquire. Eldorado 12 is great for making tiki drinks, and like the modern professional ones are huge and kind of obnoxious looking and have lights all over them, and they're not good for this vibe. And the modern like consumer grade ones are made of plastic and shitty, but the antique ones are desirable because they're beautiful and awesome. This one is fucked, but I started the process of rebuilding it today. I fully stripped it, and there were two things. I fabricated, I use that word very loosely, a new tab to hold the drink mixing cup in, and I JB'd it to where it needed to be JB'd to. And there was like a hairline crack in the gooseneck of it that I also kind of tried to reinforce with some JB weld. I have the new motor brushes, the springs, I have all the wiring and stuff like that. So once those are cured tomorrow, I can actually finish cleaning it up and putting it back together and stuff. So that'll be fun. And then we'll have a drink mixer that just lives right here instead of this decanter that's currently here and the bottles that I didn't have room for at the moment. Guys, can I show you my app? Some of you have seen it. I'm sure most of you have seen it. Oh, well, sure, we can do that. And then, oh, yeah. We got to make sure that doesn't happen again. HDMI 8, 6, rather, whatever that is, 6. There we go. Now I got my overhead, right? It's just not all fancied up. Hey, my aunt just wished me a happy birthday. So, do you use my show as your own personal cocktail guide? Some people do that. And standing at YouTube and punching in YouTube searches for how Greg made some drink. Yeah, it's because the cameras have mics and I have to force them to be muted. I didn't realize that was going to happen. Probably just because I only just turned it on. Everybody's seen your app. I don't give a shit. You're going to see it again, tough guy. Anyway, check it out. Here we go. You go to, it's going to be upside down. Sorry. We're going to get that focus. There it is. Check it out, man. This is the HTD app, and I'm still working on it. And in fact, since I got a new computer, I just had to migrate the code base and all my requirements and Python. I'm all finally set back up to start coding again. In here, you will have to clear your filters if you have any set up. You'll find every drink I've ever made on the show. Look at them go. And it's web-based, so you can use it on any device you want. And I'm sorry it's upside down, but I'm not smart enough to do that. Alabama Slammer has 3 versions. You see that? Because it's been on the show 3 times. If you go to episodes, you can see every episode we've ever made. If you go back to drinks, you can sort drinks by preparation method or ingredients, or, well, I clicked the wrong thing, tags, media adapted from, like if you wanted a drink that I made from Back to the Future, you could totally make Enchanted Under the Sea non-alcoholic party punch. Hey, if you liked that a lot, you could put it in your keeper, and then when you go back to home, go back to drinks, if you hit faves, look, it'll be right there. It's where all your favorite drinks are at, especially, and it's doubled so because Back to the Future is selected. You can do and or ascending, descending, ABV or ABC, etc., etc., etc. The other thing you can do with it, and this is just in testing, is like if you had a lime and a bottle of rum and some curacao, and let's say they were standing on a bar, but I'm going to lay them down for the purposes of this here demonstration. Check this out. We go home. Let's see if it works today. See if it works today. We're gonna go to the camera. We're gonna provide it with a photo of that. Hit use photo. My fingers, on this angle, my finger slips because I accidentally hit back. There we go. And it's gonna tell me that I can make, well, it's a little bit incorrect today. I guess that's true. Those are some of the ingredients for a blue Hawaiian. It did identify my ingredients. It says I have rum, curacao, and lime. You could make some classic cocktails with a twist. Here's a couple you could try, like a blue Hawaiian. I don't want that. I've never tried this. Let's see what happens. I don't want that. Oh, now it's telling me I can make a Mai Tai. That's pretty cool. But that's not really the end game for that. The end game for that is to use that so that you can populate a library of drinks, so that, not drinks, so that you can populate an inventory of, your spirits that you have on hand, your ingredients easily, so that you can take a picture of your wall of booze and it'll say, cool, I'll remember that you have all of these ingredients, and then you can filter by what you have. Have you tried Clement Creole Shrub? I don't know, probably at some point. Anyway, you get that at htdapp.com. It's in the link in the description of this here live stream. It's a reward for my members of my Patreon, and Patreon makes the world go round. This show don't happen without the Patreon. Although I do have an update for members of my Patreon and the public at large. Many years ago, we tried to sell some merch and it sucked. We were selling some pins, and we did some exploration of doing some shirts and stuff like that. And we had a little shop, sorta. I don't think we were running it. It was at thishishowtodrink.com, which is the URL I had to buy because howtodrink.com, the guy won't sell it to me. Doesn't do anything with it. He just thinks someday I'm going to come through with like $130,000 to buy a URL that I haven't needed for 10 years. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. And if anybody else uses it, since I very clearly own the brand identity, they'll be sued. Anyway. It's totally worthless property. So, no aprons. Aprons are an interesting idea. But we have been doing pins for members of my Patreon for forever. For the $10 and up members, they get pins. They're supposed to. We've been bad about it. And the reason is that the pins have gotten, the shipping on the pins, the shipping and handling now costs more than 3 times what it costs us to do a run of pins. I'm trying to lose some weight. Yeah, I'm a little up at the moment, actually. I'm not happy about that. So we were toying with the idea of like, okay, instead of doing pins quarterly, we'll do a big batch of pins. That way we save on shipping and you'll get your pins once a year. Didn't love that idea. We figured something else out. What we're doing is htdshop.com. I can't afford Ozempic on a YouTuber's salary. Are you crazy? htdshop.com. We'll look into aprons. That's a good idea. Not yet live, but it will be live, and it's just going to start with some pins. Now, you will be able to buy the pins as a member of the public. Members of our Patreon will get codes to exchange for free pins, I think on a quarterly basis. And so you'll fill your card up with what you want, put in your code, your pin will be free, or one of your pins will be free if you're getting a bunch of them. And then we'll hopefully be able to quickly expand into other product categories at all. I have some calls this week all about that. And it'll be a real shop that we actually set up with like real it's good. It'll be good. So if you're a patron wondering about how the pins are going to happen and you haven't been in the Discord or read the post we just did on that on Patreon, HTD swizzle sticks, okay, like plastic ones. Good to know. I can talk about merch in a minute here. Drink Drones Delivery. The Triple D. That's how we're going to solve the pin problem. And if you don't want to be a patron and just want to buy some merch, htdshop.com. Dead by Daylight? I don't even know what Dead by Daylight. It's a zombie video game or something. Hey, Eileen Crow, you're glad you could catch a stream. Thank you so much. I hope that bartending works well for you and not miserably. Yeah, I know Tiki YouTubers have their own. I am also now going to build a Tiki bar. This is going to sound funny, right? This is just a personal thing, and it'll show up on the show. And in fact, I want to document the build out of it either on the show or on the show and also on Patreon, or differently on Patreon than on the show. A couple different ideas there. I'm finally going to build a Tiki bar because I've always wanted a Tiki bar. and I have a room in my house that, like, a lot of people, I think in my generation, like, your house came with like a sitting room. What the fuck are you gonna do with a sitting room? That's like a useless space, right? Like, generationally, I don't need a room that's like just to look at furniture in. So I'm gonna turn it into a tiki bar. Why do I need a tiki bar? Well, believe it or not, this is a terrible place to make drinks for me and myself. It's not really set up for that. It's a pain in the ass to come in here. So I do most of my drink making for me in the kitchen, and my wife's always getting me in trouble about that. It's annoying. So I'll actually finally have an actual bar in my house. It's gonna be a project. I like a project like that. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on in there. And like I said, we're gonna document it. And I was thinking, let's do custom mugs. Like, let's do some merch off the How to Drink Tiki bar, which I will probably do some content from as well. And I priced it out. That is expensive. Custom mugs are very expensive. Where do you watch movies? Or, I don't know what that means. What's the most complex classic cocktail I know how to make? Maybe an improved whiskey cocktail off the top of my head. I love an improved whiskey. Classic cocktail? Classic? Like, so classic cocktails means pre-prohibition. I'm not going to say that the improved whiskey cocktail is the most complicated cocktail that I know how to make from that era. I don't know of any that are more complicated, though. You know what I mean? But, like, yeah, anyway, so custom tiki mug is probably takes a year to make them, first off, and there's a minimum order of like $15,000. So we're a ways off from that happening. But other kinds of merch seems cool. I'd like to do some of that. We explored doing shirts many years ago. So here's the thing, and it may be lost on a lot of people out there. How many people are watching? Or do we have a lot of people? Is there even a lot? Is it like 5 of us today? How many are we? How many are we? I can't see. Analytics. 458. That's pretty good. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, your videos have, thank you, Pather M6B. I missed that. I'm sorry. Your videos and its warm vibe got you through COVID from Thailand. COVID from Thailand. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I missed Captain Whistlebritches. Thank you for the $10. Wanted to make your Mai Tai recipe. That's not how you spell Mai Tai, but that's okay. After I got back from Hawaii, but I didn't have some of the ingredients, so I had to use Hawaiian white rum and wife's homemade macadamia nut syrup instead. That sounds pretty good. I don't mind that. And then I think I am caught up, and yeah, I said Blomin. Okay. So like, there's a fundamental difference between merch and product, and I think that's lost on a lot of people. Merch is like white labeling or private labeling stuff that, like, oh, I found that thing in a catalog. Let me put my logo on it. And I'll sell it to you, right? Like 99% of what you find online from assholes like me is merch. It's what bands do. It's merch. It's fine. It's not a new product, and it's not going to have the same kind of quality or inventiveness as a new product. I have, for many reasons, I've been really resistant to doing merch, but it occurs to me that my children deserve a future. So I might be diving a little bit into merch. But when we started looking into doing clothing, like we were going to do shirts and stuff like that, we were, Visky should make HDD glasses for the show's 10th anniversary. Let them know, because they're no longer a sponsor. I think that they're circling the wagons because of tariffs, so they're cutting back on all of their expenditures. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. The Trinidad Sour, yay. Hell yeah, Trinidad Sour. Love that drink. We were looking into shirts, and I was like really obsessed with the idea of doing them, you know, fair trade. And that sent me down a rabbit hole that made me find out that, like, clothing is not fair trade. No clothing is fair trade. If they tell you it's fair trade, they're lying. There is a industry plant certification agency, and I forget the name of it right now, that will call various, like, producers, farms, factories, facilities, quote, not fair trade. Yeah, fair trade. They will call them fair trade or humane or whatever, but they're not internationally recognized by whoever it is that actually regulates that, and their requirements don't exist. They just literally ask these people to call them or email them and say, yep, my factory is doing all those good things. And then they say, cool, you're fair trade. So clothing is vile. Everything you own is probably made in hell. And so I kind of didn't want to contribute to that. Now I'm realizing, like, but everybody is, right? So why not? So I couldn't find a fair trade provider of clothing, cotton, weaving, dyeing, none of it, until we found a company in North Carolina that is growing, cutting, spinning, weaving, dyeing, and shipping their entire shirts within 150 miles of where it's made. So that's pretty cool. So if we do the shirts, it might be from them. But honestly, I'm gonna have to put a poll out, and I'll ask the patrons what they all think about that. Like, are you okay? Would you, guys? I don't know if I'm gonna actually obey the results of this poll. You know, I'm not Elon Musk. I don't have to sell $50 billion worth of shares because Twitter told me to. Whatever the fuck that bullshit was, that insider trading deal he did. Yeah. But I'd be curious to know what everybody thinks. Like, hey, if would you buy a $25 or $30 shirt that might be a little bit sweatshoppy? Would that be okay? Or would you prefer clothing that you can be pretty sure was done on the up and up, no sweatshoppy, but it's like $65 a shirt? How does that feel? So, I think that's a valid question, right? Hey, I'm gonna go wash off my hand because I got sticky stuff on it from making drinks. My hands are always sticky from making drinks. Not from these bastards, not from something else. Thank you so much, Perriar. As a non-patron, you don't think. Oh, okay. If the U.S. wants manufacturing costs back, it will cost more. Yes, it will. We're not going to get into that. I have many thoughts on that subject matter. And, you know, it just has to do with thermodynamics. But at the end of the day, but we're not going to get into that because I'm not getting political. In fact, I've also forbid Meredith from cutting shorts from these live streams. So if you miss them, they're gone. She thinks they're great because she can mine great content for shorts from live streams. And I think they're awful because these are uncensored conversations. And then I make a short about how I didn't like Dune, and the internet wants to set my face on fire. So I have to take the video offline. How about a set tour? Yeah. I'm not equipped here to do a set tour today. But yes, I have done some of that on Patreon. I probably should do an update on that. Needed context for each clip. I just don't think it's worth it. You know what? Let me tell you guys something true about the internet. Oh, wait, let's do this too. Let me tell you guys something true about the internet. None of you want to know what your favorite YouTuber actually thinks. You want to know that they think what you think. So if I express an opinion, I get in trouble. That's it. All I do is piss people off. There you go. Hey, I made an Resident Evil 8 themed drink called the 9-Foot Mommy. It's one-shot absinthe, one-shot sake topped with Monster and garnished with a cherry. A cherry! My God! Thank you, Urbex Fester. I hate that drink. Will you make drinks in 40K? I have done that once, and I don't think it performed very well. And maybe I'll do it again. I don't know. I don't know. The pop culture stuff's kind of stopped working. I think that what happened is that millennials had kids and grew up. And millennials, much like their parents... So, all right. Millennials are by and large the children of boomers. and boomers are a huge generational cohort, and therefore millennials are a huge generational cohort, and boomers enjoyed a very much extended adolescence because of the way crests of waves come up and fall, as did millennials. We enjoyed a very much extended adolescence. And I think the era of broad spectrum pop cultural enjoyment, like, it's over. It's over. And I think that a big piece of that is that the millennials are busy now not being extended adolescents. They're raising kids and stuff. And so riffs on pop cultural drinks and stuff like that, they don't seem to be performing very well, and they don't connect with a younger portion of the audience. So like I've done some like I do the stuff I want to do in that space, you know, like it's not a thing that makes the lights stay on. I'll keep doing Nuka-Cola. I'll keep doing stuff that answers to my demo. Let's put it that way. But like I did a drink for it was supposed to be like the most popular game on Steam, right? I did Helldivers 2, which I actually got really into for a minute. That was like the worst performing episode in history. It's the worst performing episode in history. All media is niche. Now, it didn't used to be. Will you be going to any of the rum fests like the one in San Fran? I won't be going to San Fran. Child-free and childish. You appreciate Fallout and CO77. C2077. Yeah. Those of us in Gen X are always forgotten. I'm a cusper, so you're not. I mean, I have a lot of Gen X in me. I think that if your bullies were Gen X, you're not really a millennial, so I'm somewhere in between. The people who beat me up were all Xers, so. The monoculture. We need that. We need another monoculture. Remember when you first put out that old-fashioned video, went viral at the beginning? Which one? My first old-fashioned video did not go viral. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Episode 1 of HTD? Not viral. It has over 1 million views because it's been on the internet for 10 fucking years. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of planes. I have a problem with planes. Yeah, you miss going to school and what happened on Lost in American Idol. Psyched at the idea of a Max Miller collab. Hopefully that happens. I hope so. The Old Fashioned was my first video, but it did not go viral. Like a couple hundred people watched it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, woo, how to drink is a huge shit. I did this show for 4 years before I even turned on monetization. You'd pick up barware and swizzle sticks. Noted. And thank you very much, Corey, SD Corey, and Toby and Manthorpe. You don't like cocktails, but you're here for my personality, even when you don't agree. Well, that's nice. I like to hear that. Thank you. I know, $5 Canadian. Thank you very much. For a half a second there in my brain, it said $5 California. Yeah. Lots of people don't like cocktails. Cocktails is not the best content to be making on the internet because, compared to food, and this has frustrated me forever, everybody eats. Everybody eats. Everybody eats. Every person on the planet eats. Some of those people drink. Some of those people drink cocktails because most people just drink beer and wine. So like cocktails are terrible content if you're trying to capture a broad audience. Would I like to get back on a plane someday? Maybe. There's a part of me that doesn't even want to be cured. You'd rather have one good shirt than 50 horrible ones. That's my vibe too. But I think the pop culture themed drinks have fallen out of favor because when I go to YouTube to search for cocktails, it's usually because I'm trying to entertain in a classy way. Video games aren't classy. Yeah, I think that like, that's what I think it is though, is that like the generation that was into that is no longer sitting around watching YouTube. They're going to YouTube for a reason. You know, How to Drink's views don't come from search, man. They never did. And honestly, channels that are really successful seldom come from search. Search is a terrible way to get your views. Nobody is looking up how to make drinks from Cyberpunk 2077. They watch it because YouTube thought they would like it and put it in their face and they, oh, I did like that. That's good. I want to watch that. They don't even know that that exists, right? So, the success of a YouTube channel, in my experience, is never based on search. And when people talk to me about like hitting that search, I'm like, you don't know the biz. You don't know how this works. Or at least you don't know how my business works. Your show is the reason why you went into mixology years ago, and you've been lucky to make drinks for private events, and you really enjoy it. Thank you so much. Custom swizzles are cheap from China. Not going to be environmentally friendly, though. Nothing is. Nothing's environmentally friendly. Nothing is. Every second of every day, we're eating ancient sunlight. I've never had an ice cube not explode when I hit it with a spoon. Okay. I was hooked when watching you drink the beef fizz and suffering. Yeah, thank you. I have a cocktail series of my own on a different site, drinks based on music, and half of the people interacting were just curious about drinks in an aesthetic sense. Yeah, a lot of people don't drink that watch my show. Will I get back to video game drinks? Yeah, I will. I have video game drinks I want to do, but not right now. Technically, you're not a millennial, but you've been watching me for a few years. If you make a Predator Blood drink, I'll make it every week. Predator Blood, the cocktail. Well, we'll get 5 views on that, I'm sure. Just not for nothing, but that is niche. All search is getting wrecked. Yeah, but search is never where How to Drink was at. Like, historically, like 2% of my views or 7% of my viewership comes from search. It's all from browse, suggested, and browse, basically, which is like that you see the title and the thumbnail while you're doing something else on YouTube, and I grab your attention. I love when you do pop culture vids, since you make balanced drinks that are thematically rated the media rather than sugary messes. I try to. Sometimes I don't, but you know. Have you ever done a bourbon or scotch tasting? Yeah, a little bit. I think we did. I did an episode on whiskey, American. I don't remember. I've done stuff like that. You are the 2%. Yeah, that's great. You have a lot to catch up on. I got doged. Thanks, Elon. You're giving people free time to watch my show. Do you have a favorite spirit to drink neat? I don't really do neat spirits, honestly. I got nothing to prove. My chest is hairy. I just don't. It's just not my vibe. I don't want to be challenged anymore. I just want to have fun. I usually drink bourbon, and I went for a single bottle of scotch. It's disgustingly peaty. Well, now, you picked the wrong scotch. If you're a bourbon drinker, look for a Highland, or I like a Speyside scotch, but you must have picked up an Islay. And Islay scotches they're the mezcals of the scotch world, right? Like, mezcal is tequila. Like, tequila is a type of mezcal, but it's backwards, but whatever. My point is, they are a whole different, they're not like the other scotches. So, you're from Kentucky and you appreciate that there's something special about bourbon, for sure. Yep, and what's special about it has nothing to do with Kentucky! Not that against Kentucky, but bourbon and Kentucky actually don't have anything to do with each other. Thank you, Black Canvas Brewery. Thank you very much. Flaming Mo Broken Toe. Nice, nice, nice. What are my thoughts on Japanese whiskey? Japanese whiskey finally got some kind of a definition. First off, Japanese whiskey is basically scotch that's made in Japan. It follows the Scotch tradition of whiskey making. And secondly, for a really long time, up until like only a few years ago, and I got corrected on this because I was right, and then until I wasn't, there was no rules governing what Japanese whiskey was. So at its best end, you were getting something that was like Scotch made in Japan. And at the other end, you were getting neutral grain spirits that were dyed, you know, like there just wasn't rules. Not Scotch is the mezcal of whiskey. No. Islay Scotch is the mezcal of whiskey, because a Highland single malt or a Speyside or a why can't I think of other ones right now? Sorry, my brain is Campbelltown. They're not going to have any of those notes from Islay Scotches at all. They're totally different. They're much more like they're going to be very similar, honestly, to something like an Irish whiskey or something like that. Different. I think that personally, I think that they're a little bit maltier, a little bit meatier, a little bit more chew on in there. But that's just my own vibe on a lot of them. They feel a little thicker in the mouth, a little thicker. That could be psychosomatic. I don't know. But Islay is the mezcal of Scotch and of whiskey. It's one specific Scotch reason. Have you ever had Ficken, a cherry liqueur from Germany? No. But Ficken means what it sounds like, doesn't it? Because I remember there was a sex club in Germany called Ficken 2000 that my lesbian friend who moved there told me about, which she said was too intense for her. Lagavulin, yeah, exactly. What is your favorite game and drinks that you made for it? The answer, everybody knows this. You're not a name 3 how to drink songs, because you're obviously not a real fan. No, my favorite game is Fallout 1 and 2. And the greatest episode of How to Drink of all time is when I got to make Nuka-Cola for Tim Kaine. It does it. That was it. It does it. That's the peak. It doesn't get better. That's why I only go to Ficken 1500. That's good. That's good. I like that. That's a good joke. Yeah. Well, that's good. You can join the circle of dads. Good work. Have you tried St. Teresa Cacao Cask Rum? No, I haven't. I have not played Crash Bandicoot 3. You teased the Falernum. It's a good idea. I should put that on my actual to-do list, because I forgot I said I was going to do that. But yeah, it should be coming. I should do that. So I need runway. I need to not need to do this week's episode on Monday, because that's kind of where I was stuck behind that 8 ball for a while. And right now we're doing a 4-episode Drink Like a Pirate series, of which 1 has been released, because I was able to shoot all 4 of those in a week. That gave me some runway. And I think next, probably, I'm going to do Drink Like a Flapper, so that I can get a few more weeks of runway, because I have a whole series of episodes that are taking longer to shoot than I planned to finish, that I need to finish. And I can't do that while I'm trying to make every single week's episode come out at the same, you know what I mean? Like, what time is it in America? Well, it's 5 o'clock on the East Coast. Tonka beans, be careful. They're actually not good for you. They're actually bad for you. That's not actually a joke, but like, they're delicious. They make everything good. Grog is the reason. Grog will be episode 3, and it's a shorter one. I just cut it because there's really not a lot to say about Grog, but you know, you gotta do it. I want to revisit the original grenadine. So, thing about that, pre-prohibition grenadine. I got a call about this one tomorrow. I don't want to do that episode until, frankly, I can put that grenadine in your hands. And so I'm trying to make a deal with someone who can manufacture and bottle my grenadine recipe. And so I can do that episode and also sell the grenadine, partially because I love money and need it to live, and partially because like I think it's cool. I think it's actually like a cool fucking product that like the world should have access to. So I'm super pumped about doing that. Guests and friends for future episodes. Anybody who was willing to come here. No, I do have guests planned. I don't want to talk more about that. I've got some interviews lined up that I want to do by FaceTime. People in the rum and tiki world. I plan to do a visit to a tiki bar, a home tiki bar in my state. I'm pretty pumped about that. Some cool people own this beautiful tiki bar. I have to actually follow up with them, but like we set that up sort of. I just don't know when I'm going to do that episode because I want to build my own tiki bar, and to build around content around that, I want to go do like an interview with them. So Do I know about a brand called Cold Break? No. A brand called Cold Break. Gas refreshing machines to make cocktails. Cold Break? What the hell is that? I'm gonna look this thing up. The world. Does that mean available in Canada? Canada's complicated. Yeah, honestly, anything outside of the lower 48 is complicated. No, in true American fashion, the world means America. Fuck you. Cold Break. Let's look that thing up. It's a portable draft beer system. Is that what I'm talking about here? That's what I'm seeing. I'm not really seeing much. Like, I guess you could do kegged cocktails with it, but I'm not seeing a whole lot else going on there. My daiquiri's gone. Let's switch it up. Back to jazz. Sorry about that, Cody. Yeah. Whiskey Tribe collab? Sure. Anytime. Collabs are hard, man. Like, the whole thing of it is that you become a YouTuber, honestly, I think, because you're really bad at, like, having a job and being on schedule and everything that makes you a functioning human, which is kind of true about me. And it's true about other YouTubers. And, like, actually trying to align, this is my experience, like, it's just a lot of work. I like talking to other people, but, like, actually, okay, get your camera. I'll get my camera. Okay, when are we going to do this? Okay. Are you going to be awake then? I don't know if I'm getting out of bed yet. Okay. Am I going to go there? You're going to come here? Okay. All right. We're going to do it on FaceTime. Okay. You ready? Okay. You know what? Actually, I got to pick up my kid from school. Yeah. Can we reschedule? I know. I'm the worst. Okay. Well, my ingredients went bad, so it's going to be another day because we were sitting on this for so fucking long. You know, like, it's such a pain. So I want to do one with Max Miller, though. I think that Max is intrigued, and I think we're going to do something together. That's fun. We talked about it years ago and just never really got an alignment on that. So I think that there's a couple of ideas now that might happen. Thank you, Newbie McFarty Pants. Great name. Happy anniversary. Got recommendations for mixing Yennefer. Oppa was a Yennefer guy and wanted something interesting to drink to remember him by. Let me come back to that one. No joke, you ran a D&D campaign on Fridays when the military allows over Discord and D&D Beyond. Would I be able to get you to join for a session? You run a campaign. Maybe. Shoot an email to info@thisishowtodrink.com. Death is only natural. Let me see something here. Where is my... I got to make sure I didn't mix some important chatters. And then I think I have to go make dinner in a minute. My wife wants me to make dinner. I want me to make dinner. Let me tell you guys. I want to talk about some dad stuff. Some real suburban dad stuff. I'll tell you guys some suburban dad stuff. I think I've caught all these. Caught that. Yennefer. You do a D&D. Yeah, I haven't missed anything. Thank you. Suburban dad stuff, right? I had, first off, I hate spending money. That's just the truth. I love spending money, but I hate buying things. It's a weird dichotomy. I know. It's just a true fact. So I refuse to spend a lot of money on a grill, but you know, a grill matters. I gotta have a grill. I like cooking outside more than I don't like cooking inside. I want to cook outside so the heat stays out there. And I also like being outside and in the heat and all that stuff. So I've had this for 2 years. I've had this piece of shit garbage grill that I pulled out of the garbage in my cousin-in-law's neighborhood because I was like, that'll probably work. We yoinked it, we drove it home, and I made some new parts for it, and it's been going for 2 years. And then I was at my father-in-law's, and he had a grill. I'd never seen one of these before. I just never noticed it. It's called a Broil Master, and he was telling me about how, like, these grills are great, Greg. Got a lifetime warranty on parts. They just replaced the burner and the cooktops. No questions asked, no problem. You know what this thing costs new? Just for the top, it's like $1,500 new. And I'm looking at it, and I was like, I bet that's the kind of grill people sell for $100 on Facebook Marketplace. I just guessed that they are. They are! So I got one for $100, and I've rebuilt it. And now I've got one of these $1,500 bad boy grills with brand new parts in it. It's like brand new. It's awesome. Power washed it. I got the Ventruli's work. I cleared them out. I'm going to get a new burner coming and stuff like that. I put a new briquette tray in there. Oh, it's badass. I got some more work to do on it, but I'm pumped about it. And it was $100, and I tossed my old piece of shit grill to the garbage. That's some real hardcore dad shit. Here's another one. Bulk trash day. Your boy loves bulk trash day. I just picked up a couple of beautiful love seats for the deck. Oh man, power wash those suckers up, bleach out the cushions that were with them. It's just fantastic out there now. Yeah, baby. Oh yeah, it's good out there. Some hardcore dad stuff. I just drive around with my ratchet straps now in case I see something. I gotta throw it on the roof real quick. Grilling vids? I don't think I'm a griller. I don't think you want my grilling vids. I don't think I'm that kind of I don't think I'm that good. I'm not that good. There's some like real pros out there. I'm not even that good of a bartender. There are better mixologists in my Discord than me, in my patron Discord, which you could be a member of if you joined my Patreon. You would have access to the people who really know what they're doing. We have a mod, Matt. I'm just like straight up now stealing his ideas for future episodes. He's a genius. He's a fucking genius. So yeah, I'm not even good at that. I'm not good at anything. I'm good at talking a lot. Oh, Samantha Crouch, already a member of my Patreon. Thank you for the $20 for my birthday. I appreciate that. That's very nice. You just had a bartender tell me that calling them mixologists is like a bad word to them. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. So here's the deal. I don't know what term is preferred, but somebody once broke it down, and I think that this is fair. A bartender is in the service industry. They work at a bar, serve bar, deal with customers, have a high rate of turnover, have to make drinks on the fly. They are people who are they're bartenders, right? I'm not a bartender. I can lay claim to none of that. When people say, Greg, advice, I used to get questions like, I'm just going to become a bartender. You got any advice? I would say, don't take any of my advice. I'm slow as hell. I use expensive ingredients and I waste things. Like nothing I do is going to help you be a professional bartender at all, except for a love of mixology, which is what I do. I play around with ingredients and come up with new ideas and combinations and flavors and stuff like that. And so inventing drinks is mixology, right? That was sort of the breakdown that I got. You can call me whatever you want, but I feel like calling me a bartender is a disservice to real bartenders because I'm just a fucking clown. Oh, you think my attempt at risotto would annoy you, Kenny Selman? Excuse you? My legendary risotto. You don't know from risotto. You don't know. You don't know what I do. You know my risotto? You come into my house. You come in here and try to put the smack down on my risotto. I don't know about that. That seems uncouth. I don't think so. I don't think so. My risotto kicks ass. Risotto is one of those things I know how to make. Next live stream is Greg smoking meats for 6 hours. It's funny, I got really into making ribs for a hot minute, and then overnight got real out of eating mammals, and so I haven't made ribs in forever. Slowly over the past 9 years, my inability to eat mammals has waned, and so maybe I'm gonna get back into making a few ribs. Yeah, exactly, Lobo Kendo. Absolutely, I could never be a bartender. Sometimes people say, Greg, you should open a bar. And I'm like, no, I will license my brand and consult on the menu. I will not run or work in a bar. I'll hold court in one. I'll come in and just be like, I'm a guest. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the How to Drink Bar. Risotto takes a minute. Risotto takes a minute. You can speed the plow a little bit. You can And then some people try to cheese out by using cheese. I don't use any cheese in my risotto. I get a nice, creamy risotto with just the right texture with the mushrooms in there. I use a porcini mushrooms. And I just, a little bit of splash, stir, 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 splash, stir, splash, stir, splash, stir, splash, stir. All the time. All the time I'm splash and stir, splash and stir. All the time, splash and stir, splash and stir, splash and stir. You have to splash very little, stir, stir, stir. Splash a little, stir, splash a little, stir. It takes forever. And it'll come out, mwah. Yeah, I make a good risotto. Thank you, France. I have a buddy that is a moderate-sized game streamer, but like once a week he does cooking and grilling stream. It's a weird juxtaposition. You gotta do what you like. John Taffer collaboration. No thanks. I'm gonna pass. You don't want to be at work at 5 and leave at 4? I've done that when I was a repo man. That was a life I led. I don't want that life ever again. Greg's risotto stream when? I had a, we had an induction cooker that we used to use in here sometimes, but it broke. Meredith wants it. They need a clip of the risotto dance. If you steep a Parmesan rind in the broth you use for your risotto, you can add the flavor without actually adding grated cheese. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. I like to just put a little on top, you know? I let you put a little on top, a little on top. But Taffer's drinks they're awful, but like, think about it from this standpoint, right? Like, yeah, they're awful, but they're getting support from a spirits brand, right? So they're like cheap to serve and they're made of vodka, so people want them. Like, I don't know, like there's a business end to all of that I don't give a shit about. I don't do that. I love cooking, but I hate washing dishes. Like, oh yeah, I hate dishes. Oh, you hate dishes you have to babysit, like risotto. You know, you talk about the patience. I'll never bake a full potato again. You know what I do now? I take the baby potatoes, little Yukon Gold babies, like this big around, this big around. I toss them in some olive oil, salt, and pepper, right? I put them straight on the grill. I put everything straight on the grill. I put them straight on the grill. They cook fast and delicious. They bake right through. They get a little crispy on the outside, and you pop them right in your mouth. Nah, I'm not doing, what, an hour and a half to bake a potato? No way. I'm done with that. You don't put any foil around them. You don't jacket them. You just put them right on the grill. Put them on the fire. Add your risotto to the house. This is the risotto stream. Sweet potato is worth it. Yeah. Soup straight on the grill. Well, I did a little soup last night. Soup's tough to do on the grill. You can do it though. Peeled or jacket? I don't peel my potatoes. All the good stuff's in the skin. That's where the fiber's at. That's where the minerals are at. Why would you not eat that skin? If a potato's cooling off, I'll just pick it up and eat it. You know, if it's not so hot it's gonna burn my hand, I'll eat that sucker. Well, the tin of beans, you take the top off and then you put the tin on the grill. As a person who's done some camping, I have cooked beans in their own can. And that's all a grill is. It's an oven. At the end of the day, a grill's just an oven. Have I looked into it? Well, YouTube does it now automatically and people hate it. And also, I don't think there's a lot of I don't think that I'm missing out on a lot of views, to be honest. Soup ducking sucks. Why pretend your drink is dinner? Oh, soup fucking sucks. No, I love soup. I'm a soup man. Soup is the mixology of foods. I just like soup. I love a good soup. Seasoned up a little, I mean, I don't necessarily make my own broths and stuff. Is menudo a soup? I don't know. Thank you so much for that, actually. The only burner that actually burns. It's relaxing to wash dishes. I don't like washing dishes. What's worse for you? Can liner beans or Tonka syrup? Probably the Tonka syrup, honestly. Like there's some real, yeah, I think the Tonka is probably worse for you. But you know, all things in moderation. Broth tails are not making a comeback. Those are bad. We're not doing that. Salad is a dry soup. I don't know if I can get behind that. I think at 5:20, I'm gonna have to call it quits, guys. I think I gotta call it night here. This was fun. Did we have fun? I hope we had fun. So this week on Friday, we're gonna release Bumbu, which has some fun history behind it that I touched the surface of, but I don't go super deep into because I think that could be a whole other thing. There's like a whole lot of info on that. And then I think we have to take a week away from doing Drink Like a Pirate, and then we get back to doing episode 3 of that, which will be the grog, and then we'll do an episode on Sangaree, which actually is probably the thing pirates would have drank the most, Sangaree. 10 years ago you were in high school. Okay, baby. How did the show come to be? All right, I'll tell you quick. Here's the quick version. This should be a song. In 2001, I graduated high school and I joined the Army, and I had a parachute accident, and then I didn't know what to do with my life because I was out of the Army, and so I repoed cars. I drove deliveries. I worked security at boxing matches. I was a land surveyor. I worked as a stagehand in the Union. I did a lot of things, but I wanted to make movies because I didn't like doing all that hard work anymore. And so I went to the School of Visual Arts to become a director. Guess what? You get that job by knowing who's a director. Ha! And so I couldn't get a job out of school, but a friend of mine who graduated ahead of me, he was an editor and said I'd be good at that. And I said, no, I don't want to be good at that. I'm a terrible editor. And he said, you'd be fine. And I said, okay, because he had gotten a full-time job and I couldn't get any job. And my girlfriend, who's now my wife, said, if you don't find a job, I think we're gonna have a problem here. And I said, I'll take whatever you got. And he said, okay, cool. I got freelance gigs that keep coming across my desk that I can't take because I'm a full-timer now at Sesame Street. And I said, cool. And I became an editor, and I didn't make a lot of money, and I made a little bit of money. And then I got pretty good at the job, and I didn't want to do it. I hated every second of it. That's not really true. But I still wanted to direct. And I thought that if I liked making cocktails as a hobby, and I thought that I could do a thing with slow motion cinematography and turn cocktails into a reel for getting work doing food commercials, and that also maybe it should be a YouTube show as well, and if the YouTube show got 1,000 subscribers, I would probably make more, and that's how the show came about. And then it became my full-time job because we had to move out of New York, and that reduced my cost of living. And then also the Butterbeer episode came out, and that was like pretty good. And I said, okay, so at some point I'm going to have to like just make the jump here because there's no transitional moment. Like there's no, a lot of people want to know like, oh cool, I just gotta like this creative pursuit that I want to do. It's just gotta get a little bit better, a little bit more money, and then I can smoothly transition from the job into that. But you won't, because if that was making enough money that it was like worth doing full time, but you hadn't transitioned into it, it means you're also making enough money to do this other job full time and somehow doing both. Why would you give up on that? Why would you give up on that double income? You will never just be like, just cut myself off at the knees. I'll take away half my income so I can go do this other thing. Like, I don't think that happens. I think that you have to jump into pain head first and fear. And then that's a thing. I think that's what you gotta do. Greg the Musical is the reason we all watch it, am I right? From leap of faith to leap of faith. Yeah, I think that's right. But honestly, like freelancing, I was a freelance editor for years, and like I got very, I don't know if comfortable is the right word. I got, let's just say comfortable with like not knowing where tomorrow was coming from, how I was gonna pay my bills this month. Will I find another gig? This one's gonna dry up. Oh, I hope people like me and I get oh good, my phone rang. Thank God, because if I don't work, 20 days a month at minimum, I can't live, because New York is expensive. So, and that's, 22 days really. That's a lot of days to have to find work. And I was probably doing more than that when you're a freelancer who works like a 3-day gig, a 4-day gig, a 1-day gig, a 5-day gig, sometimes a longer gig. But anyway, guys, what's the subject of the next Midnight Local? I don't know. We have to record another one. We are behind. I just lost the line. Do you get money? No, I don't get any money from the Army. Not service related. And like somehow I think they made it an entry-level separation because I was still in airborne school or something, right out of base, right out of OSIT, actually, not basic. Yeah, OSIT, and then Javelineer school, and then jumping out of planes. So, and the Army psych wouldn't say I had PTSD. He said I had an adjustment disorder, which is not service related. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you all so much. My wife just came in. She wants me to make dinner. It's been 10 wonderful years. Let's keep doing it. You who love the show and want it to continue, why don't you check out htdapp.com and also patreon.com/howtodrink so that I can go make dinner now. Gonna go make my birthday dinner. Thank you guys so much. Good night and good luck. This has been fun, and slowly we're building up a fully powered streaming station. Yeah, actually, somebody said Disney World. We're gonna call it the Tencennial. This is the How to Drink Tencennial. So if you want to get into some Disney lore, look up that. The How to Drink Tencennial, which we'll celebrate for 18 months, just like Disney would. Good night. Bye. Oh,